Let's have a little chit chat about our girls in Dubai. If you haven't been watching, I don't know what's wrong with you because this season is delivering. No, I do not think you have to watch season one of Real Housewives of Dubai to enjoy season two. The cast is messy, they're luxuriating, they're putting on fashion shows. It's fun over there in Dubai. Anyways, with that said, if you haven't subscribed already, definitely do so. I cover all things housewives, Bravo loves, some good pop culture tea. Subscribe, turn on notifications, all the good YouTube stuff, and let's get into it. All right, so we are moving along in season two. We are on episode seven. So this episode, the two major scenes or the two major, cast I guess, cast I don't know, cast filming was, the fashion show or the beauty makeup line show for Ayan Beauty, and then Caroline Stanbury's, housewarming party, which got a little messy. But before we get into that, let's see what's going on with, Sarah Almadani. So Sarah Almadani, you guys, she is, I guess, the only Emirati woman on the show. So the show starts off with Sarah talking to her new beau, Akin, who Chanel Ayan calls him Giraffe Man. And then later in the show, Chanel Ayan asks Sarah Almadani, "How are things with you and Giraffe Man?" Anyways, so here we have Sarah and the Giraffe Man, and this was like a quick little FaceTime that we got to see because Akin visited Sarah and her son for like a couple weeks, and then of course now he's back in Germany. They're chit chatting, and Sarah's like, she wants to, I guess, I don't know. They're exclusive. She wants to introduce him to her parents. They're talking about like basically she wants this man to provide for her and take care of her and her son, which I totally understand, if that's something you want. However, I don't know if that's going to happen on the salary of a male model that we've never heard of. I'm just saying. Anyways, cute little scene with Sarah. Spoiler alert, you guys. I looked at their Instagrams. They do not follow each other. But yeah, that's a little spoiler. Let's keep it cute and let's move. So we are now at the fashion show. That's really a beauty launch for Chanel Ayan's beauty line, Ayan Beauty. And the ladies are trickling in, having their side conversations. We see Caroline Stanbury and Sarah Almadani have a little chat before the show, the runway show, and it's a little tense, like obviously Stanbury didn't like the fact that Sarah took Brooks's side during her desert dinner, whatever that was. And she's like, "What the heck? Like, I thought you were my friend. Why are you like standing up for Brooks?" So it's a little awkward here, but they seem like they've made up. They're just gonna like go past it. Now, Lesa Milan to me, she is just so gorgeous. I mean, all the women are. She comes in a little late. Literally at this point, the fashion show has already started. Like we see Chanel Ayan going down the runway in this extravagant, I don't know, what is it? Egyptian Nubian piece, her headpiece and all. This piece apparently was, what did she say? It was something like delivered from Egypt, from the vault or whatever. Anyway, it's supposed to go with her makeup line, but of course, in true Chanel Ayan fashion, being the model that she had to do a fashion show for her makeup. And even Stanbury was like, "Yeah, it doesn't go unnoticed. We see what you're doing here." Anyways, so Lisa Milan, she joins late, and apparently there was a lot of traffic because according to Brooks, she also came super late. She came so late that she missed the fashion show for the beauty line. And I did find what's her name? Caroline Stanbury, she was pretty snarky about it. She's like, "Oh, you come in with a rent a friend," which I thought was so funny because Brooks is coming alone, or so they thought, but then she brings a random friend that we like don't know. But Mai, who is Brooks's friend, she looks really good. Brooks got some, really pretty friends. Anyways, Brooks comes in super late. Caroline Stanbury calls her out. It is what it is. All right, so the fashion show part is done. The ladies are sitting back down, and it was so awkward as just the viewer. It was like we could kind of see the tension in the room, or the tension on the couch or whatever. Brooks sits beside Taleen. Now, in the last episode, Brooks did apologize to Taleen, and like it seemed like they hashed things out. It was just the two of them, the other women weren't present, and they seemed to be on okay terms. But at this point, there's the other mess that's gonna unfold. But Talena's just like, whatever. Like, Brooks is here, she apologized. It's awkward, just let it be. And then again, the traffic. Ayan makes some sort of a mini, I don't know, like a mini, what do you call it? Guys, I'm forgetting my words. Chanel Ayan is talking, she's just so happy her family's here. She, of course, calls out the girls that were late. And then Brooks is like, the traffic. So many people were trying to get here. I don't know, this whole traffic situation in Dubai, guys. Like, how many people were at this event? Because, like, just from what we see in filming, it looks like maybe like 100 people, but maybe it was like a couple hundred people. It's hard to tell because my understanding is for this line that Chanel Ayan is trying to get off the ground, I guess she invited a lot of influencers and press. So I guess, I don't know, maybe this was a big event. Now, later in the evening, we see Sarah Almadani walk over to the side with Sergio. And Sarah and Sergio, they seem to be good buddies. Like, yeah, obviously, Sergio is Caroline's, husband, man, boy, toy, whatever. But he seems to have a kinship with Sarah Almadani, almost like that's my friend, that's my big sister. I don't see anything wrong with their friendship. Um, I mean, I don't know. If my husband was good friends with one of my girlfriends, it is a little weird. I get it, guys. But you guys have to remember, Caroline is much older than Sergio. I think it's like 16 years. And Sarah Almadani, I think she's a little bit younger. So I don't know. I don't really know what to call it. Now, I did see on some conversation on Twitter, the person that tweeted it was, I find Sarah and Sergio's bond odd. She's always glued to his hip. It gives off girly and her best gay friend vibes. And Sergio commented, "What's wrong with men having female friends?" And then Sarah Almadani responded, "Sergio is my brother. Nothing wrong with that at all." So they're defending their friendship, their kinship. I don't think it's weird. I think he needs friends, and for whatever reason he seems to gravitate towards women, because we really haven't seen Sergio with like female, no, not female, male friends. We only saw a little clip of him talking to the other husbands, and the husbands on the show aren't like the Jersey men. They're, I don't know, they're just regular husbands with the exception of Sergio. So it is what it is. So we're at the end of the party. Not Caroline, Chanel Ayan. She's, doing a toast. She's thanking everyone. Her two siblings are on each end. Face card for the whole family. Beautiful. Her husband is by her side in the white. And then Tony Malt, she is the makeup artist. And Ayan, it's not just Ayan Beauty. It's something like Ayan Beauty by Tony Malt. And obviously, Brooks is like so messy. In her confessional, she's like, Ayan Beauty by Tony Malt, basically saying or implying that Tony Malt is, the brains, the creative behind this entire makeup line, and Chanel Ayan is like just the face. However, in this episode and some of the other episodes, we do see Chanel Ayan like working. She's more involved in the creative side, and Chanel Ayan's husband is more on the logistics side, like distribution, supply chain, like the numbers. I don't know. Brooks is just hella messy on the show, off the show. But then again, this show wouldn't be what it is this season without all the mess um, Brooks is a part of. All right, so usually after a big cast scene, filming situation, we usually have the girls for all of these Real Housewives shows break off into groups of two or three, or they'll FaceTime each other and kind of talk about what happened at like the all cast party, right? So I just thought it was so funny where Sarah Almadani and Brooks, they talk about the Caroline Stanbury housewarming invite that they all got. And Sarah was just like, oh, I thought you and I wouldn't even get an invite because where things are right now, Caroline Stanbury is on rocky terms with Caroline Brooks, and she's also somewhat on rocky terms with Sarah. So they start off with that. So then Lesa starts asking Brooks about Taleen, like, what the heck's going on between you two? And producers are so shady. So here we have Caroline Brooks telling Lesa and Sarah, I apologize to Taleen because I called her a beggar. What? When did you call her a beggar? And then, they're like, well, what is she begging you for? And Brooks is basically like, well, she begged to be on the show. She begged to be a part of filming. And so this is where the producers and the editing floor, they're just like, oh, Taleen was part of filming before. We got you. So in season one, I guess I don't know, she went to one of the cast, like whenever cast was filming for whatever fashion show, and then they point at Taleen. Anyways, so Brooks is like, yeah, I apologize to her because I called her a beggar. The plot will thicken. I'm going to get to it. And guys, keep in mind, this is like new information to Sarah and what do you call it? Lesa Milan. Like, why would you call her a beggar? Like, this is insane. We move on and see we got Taleen, we got Chanel Ayan, we got Caroline Stanbury and Lesa Milan. They talk about going on a trip to Bali. Very exciting for the girls. It's going to be, the theme is eat, pray, party. So, okay, great, fun. This is where Lesa Milan shares with Taleen, oh, by the way, Brooks told us at lunch she apologized to you because she called you a beggar. And this is the first time Taleen is hearing about this. Like, what do you mean she called me a beggar? Like, what? Like, I thought she just apologized to me for, her awful behavior before. So this is like shocking new information to Taleen. Like, what are you talking about? We cut forward to the dinner party, not the dinner party, the housewarming party at Caroline Stanbury's. Keep all that beggar comment, apology, non-apology in mind, because we are about to have a shit show at Caroline's beautiful new home. Now, I did notice when, Caroline speaks up, she's, just thanking the girls for being at her new house and, how long it took to get the house going. Great. And then Sergio stands up, and then I think it was, who was it, Brooks or Chanel Ayan, just off the, I don't know, off to the side. She kind of like said something under her breath. These women do not, how should I put it? They don't really see Sergio as the man of the house. However, I don't think Sergio helps himself. He kind of adds to that narrative just based on the way he acts. What was it? The episode prior to, when they were moving or they were packing, when Caroline was on the phone with whoever the person was to get their keys and electricity and all that going, this man was yelling at her regarding bags that he was packing. Sergio, I don't know what to tell you. You definitely don't help yourself. So, anyways, this is the first, dinner housewarming party that Caroline Stanbury is having. She's happy. We also see, I can't remember if Michael was there, but Brooks is so shady. In Brooks's confessional, she said that Chanel Ayan and Brooks, they were at a party Michael was at. Michael, he had a little too much to drink. And Michael is Caroline's bestie. It is Michael's house Caroline, Sergio, and her kids stayed at for, I think, like 2 months. It was supposed to be 2 weeks, but obviously, moving into a new home, one that is being renovated, things aren't done on time, things take longer than what the vendors tell you. So it was Hot Mess Express living in his house. So the tea is Michael he had a little too much to drink at this party, and Michael said to Ayan and Brooks how he pays for everything. And he's just going on and on. And of course, Brooks and Ayan, they're like, "What do you mean you pay for everything?" Michael's like, "Yeah, I pay for everything." And so Brooks and Ayan, they took it as Michael is Caroline Stanbury's sugar daddy. And I'm thinking, you guys are so dense. I don't think Michael is paying for Caroline Stanbury's new house. I don't think he's paying for her new purse or whatever. Caroline, at the end of the day, she does come from money. Her ex-husband has money, and she's a 50-year-old influencer, doing quite well. She's a woman of means. So I'm thinking Chanel Ayan and Brooks are so funny and so dense. When Michael is sharing his frustration that he pays for everything, I took it as Caroline Stanbury and Sergio were in his home for, I don't know, like 2 months with their family, all of their stuff. It was a mess. He paid for everything, being obviously he paid for, his bills for the house he would have to pay regardless of what guests are visiting him or staying with him. But he probably felt annoyed. This is how I'm interpreting it. Oh my God, I can't say that word. I'm thinking he meant like he's paying for everything, like all the extra food for like, 5 people, 2 adults, almost 3 adults, 2 children, all the cleaning, all the electricity. I'm thinking maybe Caroline didn't really step up. You know what I mean? Like she just stayed in his house as a guest, but she wasn't a very nice guest. Like she didn't really take care of her and her family when it comes to certain bills, maybe all the extra food, all the extra cleaning. I don't know. That's how I'm reading it. However, Brooks is Brooks. She's messy. You give her an inch, she's going to run a mile. It is what it is. All right, so at this point, Caroline Stanbury and Sergio, they did their speech, welcoming everyone to their house, how happy they are to finally move in. And of course, Brooks is super messy. She sees Taleen engaging with Caroline Stanbury and some of the other guests, and Brooks is like, fake, 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 just saying it under her breath, but like off to the side to Sarah, who's sitting beside her. And then, of course, Taleen hears it and she's like, "Oh, what are you saying over there? I hear you saying fake, fake, fake." And this is where the fight between these two gets started. And in the confessional, Chanel Ayan is like, "Yeah, it's kind of weird how Taleen just switched." I forget what wording she used. Chanel Ayan, you really have to like listen to what she says because she's so funny. I think she said something like a tornado or whatever. But basically, Taleen, she is Brooks's long-term friend, like in real life. And she comes into the group and then she just switched and she became good buddies with Stanbury, where they're having nights out falling into the bushes. And not Caroline, Ayan, she sees that and she's calling it out in her confessional, rightfully so. So at this point, we see the ladies, all chiming in, getting into it, like, what? I thought you guys apologized. What's going on here? And they're just getting all riled up here. This is when Taleen's like, "Shame on you. Like, why would you say that?" Like, they're now getting into that beggar comment, basically. Now, they're fighting. Taleen and her husband, they kind of walked away, but then Brooks actually approached them when Taleen and her husband were off to the side of the house. And you guys keep in mind, they're like outside. This is like the side of the house from what it seems like, but they are outside. They're not like, they're not covered with walls and windows. They're outside. So Brooks, as the couple is walking away, she approached them. So, she's kind of the aggressor in a way, not like in a physical way, but just, going after them. And then the husband gets involved. He's, obviously speaking up for Taleen. And look, guys, the way Nate handled the situation in New Jersey when it comes to his wife, Danielle Cabral, I think he did it eloquently, where he was like, "That's not right, Jennifer Aiden." He was like just such a dad. And then he took Danielle Cabral away. She was spewing more stuff as she was walking away. But Nate kept his calm, and he like walked away with her, or he like took her away, whatever. Now, this comment where Taleen is like, "Where's your husband?" Let's take a moment. The comment, "Where's your husband?" for women in their, 20s, 30s, 40s, even, in the patriarchy that we live in, women are told, yeah, these days go to school, get an education, get married, if that's the traditional path. And then women of a certain age, if you don't get married, you almost get looked at like, well, why don't you have a husband? You have all these other things going for you. In Brooks's case, she was married. However, she's, no longer married. And so for Taleen to be like, "Where's your husband?" It's just like, this is why women, we go one step forward, two steps back. Um, it was a lot. I think it was a little bit inappropriate. And then Brooke said something to the extent like, "I had a husband," or whatever. I don't know. I really didn't like that comment from Taleen. It's kind of like, "I got a husband to back me up. Where's yours?" It's a little cruel. Anyways, once we saw Taleen's husband getting involved and being equally like awful, um, good for Lesa Milan for stepping up for her friend Caroline Brooks, because it's like, what the heck? Like, yes, this woman, Caroline Brooks, she doesn't have a man to, be by her side at this party, whatever. But you, as a man, why are you like screaming at Brooks? Like, ugh, that's just like really lowbrow behavior. So good for Lesa Milan for, stepping up, standing up for Brooks. And then, guys, we got Caroline Stanbury's $50,000 couch. Someone think about the couch. There's a whole fight scene going on, but we gotta like think about the couch. That's like I don't know, what did she say, like a down payment or something like that. Anyways, they showcase this beautiful couch. It is beautiful. But then Caroline Stanbury, she talks about only the dog is allowed to sit on it. Okay. All right, guys, we're pretty much at the end of the episode at this point. The fight goes from Caroline Stanbury's backyard to where the dinner table was put together. They went to the side of the house, and now they are onto the street. They're like on the main road, they're on the street, and they are fighting. They are fighting like true Americans. Guys, in North America, there is a lot of ratchet behavior we can get away with. You do that in another part of the world. I'll take Singapore, for example. They have certain laws or code of ethics, whatever you want to call it. But basically, people do not act this way or behave this way. There's certain rules and laws in place so that people act like humans. These I don't know, these guys are fighting outside. Taleen has her cigarette. Her husband is yelling stuff. Brooks is mad at this point. You just see it in her face. She's yelling stuff. It's not a cute situation. And yeah, I guess they could get arrested for public screaming, especially at this time of the night. I'm actually surprised they did not get in trouble. Because, like, can you imagine the neighbors are enjoying like a quiet night at home? They're getting ready for bed, and then they just hear these Americans screaming outside. Guys, let me know your thoughts on Dubai if you are one of the few smart people that are watching this show, because it is a really great season. It's drama, but it's like, no one's going to go to jail for it. We see people screaming, what they're screaming about. It's just like fun shade. There's a lot of snark. The women, they do make a genuine effort to make up, get to know each other, and then the fashion is there. Some of the fashion, it might not be your style and it might not be my style, but we see a lot of designer when it comes to home decor. Obviously, their outfits, just visually, there's a lot going on. Anyways, the next episode, I believe that's when they go to Bali. And spoiler alert, I do think Sergio does tag along with them. But anyways, I got you covered when it comes to Dubai. We shall do another recap once the next episode airs. Subscribe, do the good YouTube stuff if you haven't already, and I will catch you all later.